Welcome to Crowns and Sashes. This month is Bowel Cancer Awareness Month, and we wanted to spread some awareness. So today I'm speaking to the lovely Lynsday, who knows firsthand what bowel cancer and the effects it has on family. Could you tell everyone who has battled bowel cancer that was close to you and the effects it had on your family?
Yeah, so it was my granddad on my mum's side. When he got diagnosed, bowel cancer was very advanced, so there wasn't any treatment that could be given, no surgery, no medication, no chemo, and it took him very quickly. It was late December when he got diagnosed and mid-February when he finally went.
So it was really quick.
Yeah.
That's sad.
And I think that's what affected the family most is the speed of it.
Yeah. It doesn't give you time to process it all, does it?
It really doesn't.
You're told one day and then quickly it's gone.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, if he'd have got his symptoms checked earlier, then there could have been an opportunity to get more time, because we would have been able to go for treatment options, which obviously wasn't available at that point.
How long ago was this?
20 years ago. So
yeah, times have changed, haven't they? Medical equipment and tests and everything have come a long way.
They really have. And even back then, you know, the earlier you got diagnosed, the better your option, but still not as good as today by any standards.
No.
And yeah, it was the speed of it that really shocked us the most.
Yeah. How did he deal with the diagnosis?
He was in the war.
Right.
So he dealt with it like any kind of veteran would deal with anything, which was very much stiff upper lip.
Yeah.
He didn't really say anything about it. He just accepted his fate, I guess, and you know, on with the small amount of life that he had left with everybody. I think that the fact that he had faith helped him a lot.
Yeah.
And obviously that is not the case for a lot of people nowadays, particularly now. But I think his faith sort of got him through those last couple of months, because I guess in his mind he was off to somewhere else.
Bless him. I do think, like my grandparents' age, do have a different approach and outlook on life, and when they're told bad news compared to what us youngsters deal with things, and how we react to things is a lot different, isn't it?
It really is. And I think, you know, going through the hardships of the war, and, you know, shortly after the war probably has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people of our generation haven't been directly affected by anything like they were.
No.
So there is sort of an amount of stoicism that comes with going through something like that generation had.
How as a family do you prepare though? Or you can't prepare, but as a family, did it bring you closer? Did it make you all rally round?
It's difficult to say.
Accept it is the question as well, isn't it?
I think my mum found it very, very difficult to accept because of the speed of it. My mum was very, very close to my granddad, very close, and the loss of him affected her deeply, especially given the fact that she didn't feel like she had enough time to say her goodbyes and stuff. For me, I was 19 when it happened, so as all teenagers do, I kind of had my own stuff going on.
I'm getting on with my own life anyway, but it still doesn't register properly, does it?
No, and I don't think it sunk in properly for quite a while, until I went round to visit my nan and my granddad wasn't there. I think, you know, it was a good couple of months, good few weeks to a month to really sink in. I don't know, I can't really say that it sort of rallied us around my nan, because my nan is, again, of the generation where she just gets on with it.
I can deal with it.
Yeah, and so she just soldiered on, as she would sort of say, which was reassuring, I guess. But she's only just passed away in the last week or so, and
Sorry.
it's a relief, to be honest. She was very ill, unfortunately, but me and my mum have realised actually that my nan actually spent the last sort of 20, 21 years waiting to join
Just,
my granddad.
just to be back together again.
Yeah, and that's the saddest thing about it.
They've kind of got left with an existence, but they're missing their partner, aren't they? They're ready. Whenever I'm ready to go, isn't it? Type thing.
And they were so desperately close. So for my nan to have my granddad away from her as quickly as she did, it must have been tough. But good Lord, you just didn't know.
No.
You just didn't know. She was so good.
What was it like watching someone so close to you suffer and in pain that you just can't do anything about?
I was kept away from it. My mum purposefully didn't want me to experience much of it. So I think I was
so young.
Exactly. Between diagnosis and him going, I think I probably only saw him a couple of times.
Right.
So from that perspective, I didn't really experience it very much. But from my mum's perspective, when she's been talking about it as I've got older, it was so hard on my mum.
Yeah.
Particularly with the advancement of the cancer, it turned into complete GI, liver. He was stage 3 when he was diagnosed.
Right.
And his death was particularly traumatic, and that still affects my mum now. Seeing that happen to my granddad in the way that it happened, it's properly affected my mum, and she's desperately scared of death now.
You can't prepare for death though, can you? Even if you know that it's coming, you can't prepare for how it's going to take you emotionally, physically, like stay in your brain as well.
Yeah, and for her, that was her first close death
to deal with, and it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, apart from grandparents and stuff, everybody deals with sort of death of grandparents when they're younger, but this was the first high impact death.
Yeah.
And in the manner that it happened, I don't think that my mum will ever get over it.
No.
And the loss of anybody from cancer, I don't think anybody truly gets over.
No, you just try and move on a little bit, don't you? And get on with your life a little bit, but it's still always up there in your brain.
Yeah, and it's a big medical issue. You can't, it's everywhere. You can't help but think about it, particularly when the statistic of 1 in every 3 people in their life will get cancer.
Yeah, I know, that's scary.
It really is
scary.
And then you see that happen to a close relative of yours, and you're like, is that how it is?
Yeah. As your granddad was so far advanced when he got diagnosed, did he have signs and not go to the doctors?
We can only assume so.
Yeah.
The doctor that my nan spoke to after diagnosis said that he'd probably been living with symptoms, however minor at the beginning, for about 5 years.
A long time.
Yeah. So he'd and obviously that would have got progressively worse as the disease advanced. So he was ignoring very much what was going on. Whether he was just accepting of, okay, this is happening, it's my time.
Yeah. Don't want to worry anyone.
I think that's probably more likely.
Bless him.
Yeah.
And finally, do you have any advice for anyone who might think they might have any symptoms, just other than go to the doctors now?
Yeah, obviously it goes without saying, if any symptoms that you're unsure of happen, just go to the doctors, because 9 times out of 10 it's not going to be
nothing.
cancer. It's not going to be cancer. And the only thing that I can say is that if it is, then just take one day at a time. The earlier you've called it, the better it's going to be for you prognosis wise. The majority of early cancer, if it's caught early enough, people go on to make a full recovery. It's not the death sentence that it used to be. But for goodness sake, just go and get checked out.
Just go to the doctors.
Yeah, and then deal with whatever comes based on the test. But yeah, it's not the death sentence.
Lovely. Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll speak soon.
Speak soon.
Bye.